If you would prefer your face not to be shown, you can mute your video or turn off your video so that your face is not shown. We will be posting this on our website as well for those who are not able to join us. So if that is a worry for you, then you might want to not have your name showing if you're concerned about that. But we do want to make your questions and our answers available to a wider audience who couldn't make it here today. I will be joined by Noeau Keopuhiwa, who is our Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, and Kristie Malterre, who is a counselor who spent many years on the campus, but most recently is dedicated to online student success. There will be other faculty and staff who will be helping to answer questions. We are standing by. Sheldon Tawata, Alfie Gonzalez, I saw Shannon Sakawe, Jerry Enokawa, a bunch of people, they're going to be handling the questions. If you have, and I see you've already started, so it's not like you don't know about chat boxes. If you do have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat box. We'll answer them as we're making our presentation, but we'll also have opportunities at the end, as I said, to have a wide open chat room for lots of questions. So if you're ready, I'm ready. You ready? Take a deep breath. Here we go. Welcome to our presentation for preparation for fall. I want to make sure you understand that the campus is getting ready to welcome the students and everyone back. And what are we doing to do that? We will be doing three very important things. The first will be to make sure that we are promoting the health and safety for our employees and our students, that we continue to have academic excellence in our programs, and that we are ready and flexible for what might need to be done going forward. Because as you well know, we are in a very fluid situation and we need to be prepared for whatever may come around the corner. So let me tell you a little bit about our health and safety. For the last 2 months or so, the campus has been engaged in looking over CDC guidelines, looking over guidelines as to how best to set up instruction, our student support, our facilities, making sure that we are ready to be promoting safety for all of those concerned. These 4 committees have spent, as I said, time researching, and they have put together guidelines. The guidelines follow basic CDC guidelines. They also follow the UH guidelines, and they are available to you. I believe we'll put a link in the chat so that you can download the guidelines. This particular set of guidelines that you will have access to were combined from the overall big campus guidelines, and these ones that you have access to are specifically for students, and they're geared for students, focused for students, and help the students understand how we can go forward in the fall semester, providing safety for all. And you'll hear a little bit more about this, and you'll see it in a little bit. A little bit about academic excellence. Lots of questions about, are we going to be on campus? Are they going to be in class? Are we going to be in person? What's going on? So I'm here to let you know that instruction and learning will take place in 3 basic modalities on the campus for fall 2020. We have face-to-face classes, we have what are called hybrid classes, and we have online classes. Our face-to-face classes are delivered in those disciplines that require face-to-face in order to promote student learning. So imagine science labs. We do have online labs, but some labs are very hard to do online, and so we are going to be doing those face-to-face, and they will be following CDC guidelines about social distancing, and you'll see more about that later. We have health programs that require face-to-face skills testing, working with other students and practicing skills. So some of this will be face-to-face again. We will be following the best practices for safety and security. Hybrid classes combine some technology and some face-to-face. This is the most flexible format. What you'll see on our website for class availability is you'll see a class that's identified as WWW, and it might also have days and times. And that means that the faculty member is asking that the students come to class on some days and spend some of the time online. And your instructors will be able to tell you exactly what days they want you to be face-to-face, but some of those times are listed on the class availability website. And our third modality is 100% online, which means you will be online with the faculty member. And that's two kinds. One kind of online class is not scheduled whatsoever, and that just has WWW, no time at all. That class is for students the most flexible, since you can determine which days, which times you want to connect with the learning. It is a challenge for some of us, me included, to make time in your day for strictly online classes, but it gives you the most flexibility. Some mostly online classes also sometimes require students to be on Zoom at a certain day and a certain time. You won't have to come to campus, but you will have to dedicate some structured time to be connecting with your classmates and connecting with the teacher. So that's the class where you'll see WWW with a day and time. We'll also need to be flexible. We know that the situation might change, and so the instructors are also understanding that there may be a need at some point, depending on what happens, and the governor makes some kinds of proclamations, that we may need to go back and pivot to be online if the pandemic creates other challenges for face-to-face of any kind. So we have built that into the programs to make sure that we can change if we need to. So after these guiding principles, we also have lots of signage on the campus, and you'll see these kinds of signs, and these are best practices. This is what CDC is asking us to do. This is what the UH guidelines are asking us to do, and our campus guidelines are asking the same thing. First, stay home if you're sick. A lot of times we try to tough it out. I don't feel so bad, I'm going to go to school. That is not the guidance we're giving students now. It's stay home if you're sick. You know about hand hygiene. Wash your hands thoroughly and often. Before, after the bathroom, after you've been touching lots of different things, when you're preparing or eating food, wash your hands before and after. If you are not near a sink that has soap and water, you need to be sanitizing your hands. The classrooms will have hand sanitizers available. We're also going to be asking the faculty and the students to wipe down their area when they get into a class. If you're sitting at a desk, there will be cleansing materials available. Wipe down the tablet, the armrests. If you're in a computer classroom, wipe down the keyboard, and that's for your own protection. So wipe it down before you start and wipe it down after you're done. And that helps everybody maintain a safe and sanitized area. We are going to be requiring students and faculty and staff to wear masks while they're on campus. This is the best way to prevent infections from spreading. And we are also going to be mandating social distancing in classrooms and other enclosed spaces. So you can be ready for those mandates to be in place. So 6 feet apart from each other and 6 feet apart from the instructor while you're in the class. We're going to be increasing our protocols for cleaning classrooms and bathrooms to make sure that we do our very best to sanitize those high-touch areas. As I said, there'll be cleaning supplies in every classroom for the users to avail themselves. Also in the library, when students go and study in the library or get Wi-Fi in the library, there'll be wipes or other kinds of cleaning materials available so you can wipe things down in the library. We will be putting up plexiglass barrier sneeze guards that you see in all the supermarkets at the cash registers. We'll be doing those similar things in those areas where our staff have face-to-face contact with the students and other users. We have been closed to the general public since March, and that will continue into the fall semester. The campus is absolutely open to students and prospective students and to any public that has business on the campus, but we are not open for people to gather on the campus or just come and hang out on the campus. That's not what we're here to do. If you do want to come to campus now before school starts and you are a student, take your schedule. If you've registered, that you can show that you're a student. So if somebody says, excuse me, we're closed to the public, you can say, no, look, see, I'm a student. I need to know where my classes are. And that's going to be available to you. At this time, I'd like to give you a little preview of what the campus is going to look like. We have a video to show you so you can get a sense of what things look like, I think. Look at that, right on cue. You'll notice that the chairs are not at every station, and that's to make sure that students sit far apart while they're in the library. Okay, that's it. It's on a loop. I think we can stop. Thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce Noeau Keopuhiwa, who is our Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs. He'll tell you a little bit about some financial support for students this fall. Noeau.
Thank you. All right, aloha. So I think the biggest advice for students who are coming to our college, if you have not already, to fill out the FAFSA. Okay, so within the chat box is the links for our FAFSA information. And basically what you want to do is go ahead and complete that, because what it'll do is give you, it'll automatically create any kind of grants or loans that you're eligible for to receive at our college. This one, there is no due date. We just tell you to fill it out as soon as possible, because once our school has the information, we can create a package for you, and then you can kind of see what financial aid you're eligible for. This is the most common form of financial aid. In addition to that, what I wanted to talk about specifically today, because it's quite unique to the situation we're in, is called the CARES funding. And this is money that has been given by the government to the college to basically distribute to students that were affected by the COVID-19 situation. As of right now, we are set to distribute another round of funds come July, August. These are for students who are enrolled with us in the spring and will be re-enrolling with us in the fall semester, which they should have already gotten an email at their uh.hawaii.edu account. Another round of funding will be available. So you students who are just joining us for the fall semester, we will be actually doing another round of funding. And as soon as that happens, we will email your hawaii.edu address to let you know how this works. However, the one thing to keep in mind, to be eligible for these funds, you must submit the FAFSA form. What this does is give the school a lot of the information to see if you qualify for these CARE funds. So be on the lookout for that email in terms of your financial aid as well as CARES funding. The last one on there on that bullet point list is the Urgent Student Relief Funds. So these are funds that was created by UH Foundation accounts by a bunch of donors who wanted to ensure that students continue pursuing their education as well as complete. So this is a private really scholarship for students that the community want us to get out to students. This urgent student relief funds, unlike the CARES, you do not need to submit a FAFSA to complete this form. All right, so as you can see, Lisa, if you could put, oh, sorry, Sheldon already put the email about the CARES. No, sorry, Lisa, can you put the link for the urgent student relief funds? As of right now, if you try to go in the Kapiʻolani Community College campus, the applications are turned off. And it's because we are going to reopen it for the fall semester once funding is available again. So again, there's basically really two major different forms of funding that you should be able to apply for as a student in the fall semester. Again, the first step, complete the FAFSA as soon as possible, because that will give you an idea of what money you're eligible for. For those students who did complete the FAFSA but do need additional funding, go ahead and check out the urgent student relief funds, because that is a separate application where you can apply for these funds. All right. Okay, Louise.
This is an opportunity for Kristie to come and tell you a little bit about how we support our students and provide them support outside of their classrooms. Kristie.
Thank you, Louise. So like our Chancellor mentioned, we have 3 ways that we'll primarily delivering classes on our campus. And I just wanted to assure everyone on this call today that everything that happens outside the classroom for academic and student support, we're still here. We've been still continuing from March, and we are accessible to students no matter what way that you're studying, whether it's in person, hybrid, or completely online. In regard to completely online classes, many of our online teachers have actually embedded an orientation module to online learning, so that if you've never studied online before, you can take about 30 minutes to complete this exercise. And it does cover things like, how do you best communicate in the online environment? How do you interact with your classmates and teachers? What are some time management skills you can use, or how can you set up your environment to help you to be successful in the completely online environment? So that support is really there for you to be successful in your online classes. We have excellent online instructors who've been trained through really quality professional development programs to help teachers to teach best in the online environment, to help students learn the best way that they can. So that's a really fortunate thing on our at Kapiolani. Regarding support for students academically through their pathways, we do have dedicated counselors and advisors attached to every single program on our campus. So whether you plan to major in culinary or hospitality, one of our health science programs, or if your goal is to complete your liberal arts coursework and transfer on to a baccalaureate institution, we have counselors and advisors in every program to support you from entry to exit to reach those goals. Sometimes you need some extra support academically outside of your class related to your class material and what you're learning. We do have quality tutoring support and peer mentoring support across the campus in areas from writing, math, college success skills, STEM-related courses, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. And we, in addition to our on-campus tutoring services that are also available online through Zoom, we do contract with a national company called tutor.com, where students have access online 24/7 to tutoring support that way as well through many different subjects. We have a partnership. UH Manoa offers something called OLA, or Online Learning Academy, and their graduate students do provide virtual tutoring assistance as well for writing, math, and a lot of the sciences. So all of this to say is for that kind of additional support outside the classroom, we do have support services that are accessible virtually to students. The library is a great resource for students as well who come in person. There's online research guides, databases, and support that we have as well through the college. So all of those things are really to help you to be reinforced to really get through your coursework for the semesters to come. Also, when I talked about the advising for all of the academic programs, we have something called STAR. For those of you folks who are incoming students, STAR is our UH system student information platform. So it allows you to go onto STAR and see exactly the courses that you need to take for each of your degree and certificate programs that we offer here. So you can plot out your schedule for your next few semesters. It kind of is very intuitive that if you switch majors, you can see ahead of time what your new plan of action is going to look like. So you can use STAR in conjunction with your academic program advisors as well to plan proactively. We also have, on the slide here, we have disability support services, which are dedicated to providing disability accommodations in the classroom and outside the classroom, whether it's providing note-taking services, physical accommodations, extended testing time. If you have a documented disability and get registered with our Disability Services Office, we're there for you to help provide those kind of accommodations. Also highlighting the mental health and wellness programs that we offer on campus. We do have a dedicated counselor for mental health and wellness. And it's been really successful in outreaching with students and providing that space for drop-in support, covering the spectrum of areas like stress management, living healthily through this period of COVID, just kind of managing the everyday stress and issues that our college students may come in with. So we do have that kind of support at our college as well that's accessible actually online also. As well as disability support and mental health services, we do have other targeted programs that are focused on retention and success of our students. And this is all, again, through our web resources, phone, and video appointments. We're all accessible. We have these programs on Native Hawaiian student success. We have a program for veterans and military students, TRIO, incoming transfer students, incoming high school students, and a awesome first-year experience program that really helps to orient all of our new students to campus and to college life and being successful at KCC. So I know this is all a mouthful, but I just wanted to let you know that anything that you folks can need to support you, we're here and we're waiting, and we are accessible in all those different formats that our chancellor just mentioned to you, including books. There are a lot of who are new to the college. You're focused on getting your books. How do you do that? Do you have to go in person? We do have a bookstore website as well that you can do these transactions online and find out what books are required for your courses, either through the class availability site or through the bookstore website. So again, just reach out to us. We're here for you, and we really want to see you succeed in everything you do. And that's no matter which format that you're learning with us this semester. Also throughout your pathway with us. We're going to be opening this up to questions. I know that from the chancellor to our vice chancellor to myself, we shared a lot of information, and we wanted to be able to have you ask whatever questions are on your mind right now related to everything we just said. We have a cadre of people who are online from our campus who are happy to jump in as well to the chat and answer questions that you have.
Thanks, Kristie. Our lines are open. Feel free to type in whatever questions that you have, and we will be trying to navigate and who answers which questions.
So I don't mean to throw Romyn out there, but in the past session and even today, there's a lot of questions about getting their student ID card. Romyn, could you talk about how students can get their KCC ID card?
Sorry, my internet is a little, it just went a little unstable. But hi everyone, my name is Romyn Sabatchi. I'm the Director of Student Life. So if you're looking to get your student ID, so especially if it's your first time, your first ID is free. And so you'll just make an appointment with osa@hawaii.edu. I'll put it in the chat because we also have a booking link, which you can use to book and schedule a time. Right now, because of COVID, we're only open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So that's when you can make an appointment. If you want the fall U-Pass, which is the bus pass, it goes all the way from August to January 15th. So it's about 5-6 months that the bus pass covers. And it's already included in your tuition fees, depending on how many classes you're taking. So you can see in your account if you paid that fee or not. And if you did, then you can also get the U-Pass through us. Parking lot, so parking situation, pretty much if you're a student, you can park in any spot as long as it doesn't say staff or doesn't have a sign that says anything else. Parking lot A, which is around certain buildings, is the only parking lot that will require a permit, which will come through our office, and that won't be available until mid-August. But for the student ID and the UPass, you can make appointments now. And we encourage you to make your appointments as soon as possible, because typically within the first 2 weeks of when school starts, we distribute about maybe 1,500. And because of all the COVID regulations and the social distancing, we want to cover it a lot earlier. So if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat. I'll put the appointment link as well as our email address.
I wanted to address a question that EMD had in the chat. Will there be an in-person orientation for students and parents, or because of the situation, will there be Zoom? Primarily the orientations from our FYE or first year experience program, primarily it's online. So you're joining an online site for part one of the orientation, where it kind of orients you to college in general. And then usually part two is one that's done in real time through video, and it's in combination with the FYE counselors, as well as a program and academic advisors as well. So if you are a liberal arts student and need advising, or one of our career technical programs that need advising, you do get connected with your advisor and you work with them through Zoom or through a follow-up appointment. Usually part three is getting introduced to different parts or different programs that the campus offers, and I believe that is also planned to be delivered online through Zoom or other online platforms. So yeah, we don't have, we're not having a total freshman incoming in-person orientation, but we are supporting students in these other ways.
There's a question, and probably more about placement tests. So, Sheldon, you want to try that one?
Sure.
It's from Dana. How do students take placement tests?
Placement
and
tests.
Another one about my daughter has not taken, that's from Sierra Green. My daughter has not taken her placement test yet.
Yes, and so I'm going to put up a link for our testing center. And so there's, you want to go to that website to schedule an appointment to take our AccuPlacer. Because of the 6-foot distancing, we only can limit so many students at a time, so it's by appointment only. And there's two parts to the placement test. There's the writing and there's math. And I believe you can split it up into 2 appointment slots, so you're not doing both at once. And I've seen students do a whole lot better when they do split it on separate days versus doing the 2 tests at once. Also, just know that the test is free. The first attempt is free and the test is untimed. And so when you check in, just make sure that you have a free day to kind of really just focus on the test, make that your priority. We've had students in the past that maybe scheduled it and then had to go to work, so they were rushing through the test and maybe didn't get the true results of their skills. And so go on a day where you can really kind of take your time. True story, I once proctored the writing portion. I sat with a gentleman for 3 hours just for that writing portion alone. And so just again, take your time, go on a day where you're pretty much free. There's also the option of doing EdReady that might be on our testing center website as well, but the main one is AccuPlacer. Again, that's free. If you have to retake it, there is a $25 retest fee for the placement test. Also remember, it's not a pass or fail exam. A question that comes up a lot is, what if I fail the test? And that's almost like impossible, because it's not a pass-fail. It's just a placement test, because we just want to see where your current skills are. And we have math and writing courses for almost all levels. And so the goal of Kapiʻolani is to make sure that we're putting you into the most appropriate class to build your foundation, make it solid. So as you're moving up with success. And so I'll use myself an example. I was a terrible student in high school, so I was placed in remedial math and writing classes, but it did me a world of good. And so, and you're still able to move forward through college in a timely manner. So a lot of folks also ask, if I do place below 100, does that slow me down? No. And so you just want to just keep at it. Like Kristie was sharing, reach out to all the resources that are out there, because we're just ready to help. So like the tutors, like she shared, the counselors, even your instructors. And so your instructors are available too. Like they are they carve out time during their week to help out students. And so don't be afraid to reach out to your teacher. If you're not understanding something or if you're not grasping something, reach out to them. So long-winded answer about the placement test, super important because your writing and math score also may impact what other classes you take, because we have classes that have certain math and writing prerequisites. And so best to do it as soon as you can. I have a student who needs a certain math class. There's only one section completely full, a little bit freaking out because that's the only math class he needs. But because he waited a little bit too long, now we're just sort of playing this waiting game because the class is full. And so if you can jump on the placement test as soon as possible by going to the testing center website, you'll be in good shape.
There was a question about TBAs. If TBA is listed in the days and times, then it's an online class. If TBA is listed under instructor, then it means the instructor hasn't been assigned yet. So TBA doesn't mean the same thing. It just depends on, if you're looking at the top of the bar of the class availability, that will tell you TBA in days means online. And TBA under instructor means that instructor has not been assigned yet. And there are some other questions, and I've lost track.
Jennifer asked, for students who are coming from out of state or country, may still be in quarantine when the semester starts, will there be an option to do a face-to-face class online until quarantine ends? And I'm assuming in that situation, it's probably best to contact the instructor. I'm not sure if there's a broad policy on that.
On what?
For the situation that Jennifer asked, for students coming from out of state or out of country and will be in quarantine, if a face-to-face in-person class starts, is there an online equivalent to get that work done that they may miss because they're still in quarantine?
Yeah, that's a really good conversation to have with the faculty member. If you know that that's going to be your situation, that you may be delayed, please do email the instructor right away. Let the instructor know that you'll be late and have some kind of preparation before you make it back, so that the instructor knows you'll be late and the instructor can help you prepare for whatever you might have missed.
By the way, I hear a lot of, in our response, we're saying, oh, contact the instructor. You can, there's a screen that's coming up. In class availability, you can email the instructor by clicking on their name, get their email address. Sorry, Noelle.
Oh, no, go ahead. I was just going to show the students in your STAR account. I'll quickly show you how you know where your classes are offered. So I apologize if my screen is small. This is as big as it can go. So under here, if you notice, under where there would be a time, TBA, WWW, these courses are online. And basically they do not have a time associated with it. So basically you'll be able to have the flexibility of doing that. If you notice here on this one, sorry, I'm trying to highlight and hopefully you guys can see this. This one has a day and time, Tuesday, Thursday, 3:15 to 4:30 with the WWW. These courses are synchronous, so basically it'll be online, but it'll be occurring at these times. Okay, so this is the two main difference between the online classes. For those of you who have a face-to-face class, you'll notice you have the day, the time, as well as a room number. Here, Kalia 104, and basically that'll let you know that you are in a face-to-face course. So those are the three main things you're looking for in terms of an online or face-to-face course.
Okay, that was helpful.
There's a question about, is there any student aid for international students?
There are some limited scholarships available. And the best way to get to that information is through the Honda International Center. And if someone can put up the Honda International Center website or email address, that would be great. hic@hawaii.edu. Great, thanks, Sheldon.
There's another question. Do I need to take the placement test to take the CHW classes?
I think that's been answered.
Yeah, responded to that one.
Are final high school transcript required, Sheldon?
It depends. I think if we're going to use high school grades and courses for placement, yes, we would need them. But if you're going to opt to do the AccuPlacer for placement, then it's not really required. And so there are questions about the referral link on the testing center website. I know there's a lot to take in on that website, but if you look at step 2, I know it says ask for referral, but just go ahead and make an appointment and then see what you got. See what kind of slots they got.
Looks like someone's from Next Steps. I got accepted into KCC. This is Austin, taking online classes. How do I go about registering for classes?
I'll take that. I was typing a response to Austin, but Austin, great question. And if you've already been accepted, within a few days max, you should be getting an email from the First Year Experience Program. And they're sending information about how to participate in the 3 parts of orientation, which does include advising and registration in classes. So check that UH email.
Oh, there's an early college question that got to be for Sheldon.
Where is it? Where is
From Dana. If you took early college classes during high school, how can I transfer it over?
Yep. So we can pretty much see everything that you completed in your in the UH system. And so when you go to your new student orientation, maybe bring it up with the FYE team so they can see everything that you've completed. And then they'll talk to you how to bridge it over to your Kapiolani record. But if you took it within the UH system, we have full access to everything that you've completed, so not to worry.
Yes, we'll be putting a link to this Zooms on our website. So if you missed part of it, you can go back and listen to the beginning if you missed it. Will the admissions office let me know if they received my high school and IB transcripts, or can I also see that requirement was met in the UH portal?
Yeah, once your credits get evaluated, if you got credit for any of that, it'll appear in your STAR report, which is a student portal, and you'll be able to see how it translated over.
How do I know if I got accepted or not? Dana asked.
Hi, Dana, it's Jerry from admissions. You should be getting an email acceptance letter, most likely going to your hawaii.edu account if you established one. If not, it'll go to your personal email address that was listed on your application. So keep an eye out on your emails, okay?
And check your, what is it? I'm blanking on the word.
Oh, and also check your spam folder.
Thank you. I kept clicking Zoom folder, but we don't have Zoom folder. Spam folder. Sometimes it gets redirected to spam folder, so check there too. How do we order books for our classes? I'm not sure about how it looks like on STAR. Noya, is there a way on STAR to know what the books are? Because I think on class availability, you can click on the link to the bookstore.
Yeah, give me a second to get to that, and then I'll jump on and share the screen again.
Okay, Shannon already got it.
Oh, thanks, Shannon.
But I think there's another way from STAR though, right?
Yes, there is. Let me see if I can log into my.
Okay. In the meantime, Kristie's got a question about how do we know what AccuPlacer test we have to take?
So what's wonderful about the testing center, they will provide you clear instructions when you check in. And so let's say on a certain day you just want to do writing, you just want to let them know that today I just want to do writing, and they'll set you up. For the math, you don't have to remember this, but what they'll share with you are the two starting points that you can select from. So one is quantitative reasoning, the other one is advanced algebra. And so you get to select which starting point in math. And so if you think back to the last math class you successfully completed, and that'll determine which path you would choose. And so let's say you did really well in Algebra 2, I would say jump on the advanced algebra route. If you maybe completed maybe up to geometry, I would say do the quantitative reasoning route. And so what will happen is you'll be presented 20 questions, and it's an adaptive test. So questions will be changing based on how you answer each question. And at the end of the 20 questions, you'll get your results. And so it's pretty amazing. And so similar to like what I was saying, the test is not timed. They will provide you with scratch paper. And on the test itself, there are certain select questions that will have a calculator that you could use, but it's not for all of it. And so that's the AccuPlacer. And again, not time free, and it's not a pass-fail, it's just a placement. So that's the AccuPlacer. And the question about, is it mandatory? It'll definitely provide you more options when you take the placement test, because for most of our courses, we do have courses that require some English and or math score or course. And so just go ahead and take that placement test.
Or high school transcripts, right?
Or yes, or high school transcripts, or ACT scores, SAT scores. We'll take all that. And yeah.
Can the placement test be done entirely online? It is an online test, but you have to take it at the testing center, right?
Yes. In fact, there's two options now with Ed Ready available. That some students have been doing that at home. Maybe they're a little bit nervous of coming in person, and so Ed Ready is an option. Maybe I'll throw that up there too. Ed.
While Sheldon is throwing it out there, I'm going to share my screen again, and basically I'm just going to run through that website that Shannon shared, and basically it's a bunch of screenshots that will show you how to actually find your books. So basically you log into your star.hawaii.edu account, and then from here, this should look familiar if you're registering for courses. You can click on the register and add drop courses here. It'll take you to another screen, and what we're looking at now is the top right-hand corner of your screen. You'll see these three lines, and under that menu, you'll see textbooks. The webpage we have here is set for Manoa, but this should say Kapiʻolani Community College. And basically, this will tell you all the textbooks that is needed for your courses. And once you click there, it'll give you a variety of options, as well as the bookstore prices and some other online prices here. So circling here at that compare prices. And this should give you an idea of how much your books are, give you some comparable prices online versus the bookstore, so you can make the most informed decision. And again, it's the link that Shannon just put out, the text box screenshot link.
Thank you. And you could save lots of money on textbooks if you choose classes that have textbook zero cost. So they're online resources. You don't have to buy a textbook. How do I know who my counselor is? That depends on which programs you are in. So if you're in business, you will have the business counselor. If you're in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, you may have another counselor. If you're in culinary, you have a special counselor. If you're a student parent, you have a counselor. If you're a military veteran, you have a counselor. And there is a place where you can have all of those counselors listed. And I think there's a website for that. And I'm sure somebody's going to throw it up there in a minute.
Yes, there is a website, and also we funnel most of our new students through the FYE, and they will too link you up with all those resources Chancellor just mentioned. So all of you will be in good hands on our campus.
When's a good time to get your textbooks? Before the semester starts. That's a good time.
And I believe it goes until the first week of August, if I'm not mistaken, right?
First week of August, the bookstore opens for business?
think that's when they start selling the books for fall.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, the bookstore is not open just now. Let's see. It's also a good idea to come on campus if you're going to be having any face-to-face classes, so you can check out where your classes are, how long you're going to take to get from one building to another, and get that taken care of before the first day so that you look super cool on that first day.
So I'm gonna answer the question again about the high school transcripts, and so it really just kind of depends. And so you can, and I'll type it in the chat box, you can send your high school transcripts to this email address here. But as a backup, because we know sometimes there's a delay, like I was working with this one student where it took maybe several weeks to get a copy of their high school transcripts. With the placement test, you get your results right after you're done. And so if there is an urgency to get your results, it's actually a good idea to do the placement test. And what we do is if we look at all your options, and let's say your high school transcripts places you higher over the placement test scores, we'll take that. And so it doesn't hurt to put all your options out there, have maybe your high school transcripts out there, your placement test. And so to me, it's free. And, you know, you schedule it, get it done, and at least you have more options as far as choosing which is the best writing and math route.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Carl Naito, the IT coordinator for the campus. Many of you are going to be taking courses through various modalities, face-to-face, hybrid, online. If you ever need tech support, we have a 24/7 support line for you. I'm posting it right here. It's called help@hawaii.edu. Welcome to Kapiʻolani Community College.
Thanks, Robbie the robot. That's Carl Naito. Other questions? Anything we have not answered in this long chat? Thanks to all of you who are monitoring the chat questions and answering. International students and housing, please contact the Honda International Center, HIC, at hawaii.edu. We don't have dorms on the campus, but they can give you some information about homestays and ways that you can find housing. Yes, there's a child care center on the campus. It's called the Kapiʻolani Child Care Center. It's actually run by Honolulu Community College for the benefit of our students and faculty and staff. And I'm sure somebody's going to put something up there about Kapiʻolani. There. Shannon says, contact the student parent program. And there's a link to the services. Thanks, Lisa. It's great to have all these helpers. Other thoughts, other questions?
So I'm just posting up the FAFSA website once again with our school code, strongly encouraging everyone to start their financial aid process. Even if you're just not knowing if you're gonna get aid or not, it's worth going through that whole thing. It's a free process. If you run into anyone that's asking you for money to process your financial aid, don't do it. It's supposed to be all free. And so please go to the studentaid.gov. Our school code 001613. Both student and legal guardian needs to go through this process because we need electronic signatures for both. It can be overwhelming at first, but I am going to put up the financial aid email address in the chat box. If you have any questions, please reach out to them. They're extremely helpful. But who knows, you might get all kinds of aid. Like I've worked with youth once before, and then they thought, I'm not going to get anything. And so when they did it, they got like hundreds of dollars. And if they didn't apply, they wouldn't have known. And so the wonderful thing about A2 is if you look at your award package, let's say you don't want it, you can always decline it, and then that's fine. And so you won't know until you put it out there. And so like Noelle was sharing with submitting a FAFSA, then that links you to maybe potential CARES money. And so just do it. Again, it's free. It may take some time. It's going to ask for text information, all this other stuff, but in my mind, totally worth it. If at the end of the day you get several $100s, totally worth it. And so I think I was doing a session with another high school group, and I think a Chromebook is like $300. And so if your financial aid award is like $300, that just paid for your Chromebook. So, you know, you just never know.
You guys doing okay? It's kind of exciting. I'm seeing the students before they get here.
I'm going to put a big text into the chat box, so it might take up a lot of room. But if you have questions later on, we actually have some walk-in and virtual walk-in hours. I put the link in there, and basically the days and times that we're having it, starting on this Monday. So not tomorrow, Friday, but starting on Monday, these will be available. And you could just log into the Zoom link, same way you're doing now, and you'll be able to talk with a member of our team to get some answers to your questions. And we'll be putting these online shortly, so if you forget it on here, we'll have it in a variety of formats.
Oh yeah. We have a short survey, and that we would really like you to take a look at. It'll take you like 3 minutes. Give us feedback on this session, and it's also an opportunity for you to also put your name and your email address if you want to have other answers to your questions. So please do take a moment. We so want to thank you for your attention and your great participation in this afternoon. And if you're still asking questions on the chat, that's okay. We're still here. We got a few more minutes.
I forgot what the answer was, but the 11 o'clock session asked what eateries will be open on our campus.
Oh, yes, yes. So there will be food service on the campus. It may not be through our cafeteria because of social distancing. We're trying not to get students to gather all together in one place indoors. It's not healthy for folks, but we will have grab and go meals possibly in the cafeteria, and we have a Subway, and we will be having a lunch truck and other vendors on the campus.
Students can bring their home lunch too, correct?
Of course. And we have places to sit outdoors. You don't have to be indoors.
For those who are still around, random information, if you're catching the city bus to our campus, 2, 3, 9, 22, I think it's 24, spins around our campus. Number 2, I don't know if they're going to do it this year, but the bus number 2 drives directly into our campus. Mm. And so if public transportation is your option, just know there's a lot of bus lines that come past Kapiolani. And we also have spaces for mopeds and bicycles as well.
And the parking is free if you missed that. Sasha has a question. Should I apply before taking the placement test?
Yes, it helps a lot. On many, I'll share. It's just because it will generate a UHID number, which will help in the long run. And say you apply, you take the test, and you decide not to enroll in the fall, totally fine. By putting your name in the hat, at least gives you that option to have that discussion with whoever if I'm going to continue in the fall or spring. Even though our application deadline was extended to August 10, I would say still submit one now so that it gives you, again, a lot of options on what you're going to decide to do. And so there's always that opportunity to also defer to the spring. And so if fall is not an option, you can always let us know, and then we can move your application to the spring.
Are we getting more students staying home in Hawaii? I think that's probably going to be happening. I can't say for sure. It's hard to track that. But we suspect that some students, especially if they're going to be online only on the mainland, kind of doesn't make a lot of sense to move all the way to the mainland to be online. So we expect that there'll be some people. You're welcome, Kristie, and all of you who said thank you. I'm happy it was helpful to you. You're all welcome. It's great. I appreciate your attention, appreciate your hanging in there, and I'm sure you must be getting hungry for dinner. And we're going to be wrapping up in just like a couple of minutes. So you have a couple of minutes for your last questions.
And I gotta speak for the parents too, like as one myself, and I can feel that anxiousness. In fact, I work with a lot of parents too. And what this campus is wonderful in doing is trying to just minimize as best as we can any of the anxieties of entering this new normal. And so your anxieties are we acknowledge it. And so we're just trying to do our part by just being transparent and letting you know your child, if that is your child, that they'll be okay coming to KCC. If you yourself is going to be a student on our campus, you will be safe. We're going to do our very best. So like I was telling another group, this is probably the most I have ever washed my hands ever.
Yes.
My mom always scolded me when I was playing in the mud. I guess now it's coming back.
There's a question about wait list. If a student is on a wait list, will they be able to get into class? It's not a guarantee, Shannon says. And it's true. So if somebody drops the class, you may be able to get in.
I was just typing a response to that. Check your UH email, because if you do get a spot, you'll be offered the spot, but you only have, I believe it's 48 hours to respond to that. If you don't respond, they go to the next person on the wait list. So check that UH email.
They changed it to 24.
Oh, you gotta be quick. Gotta be
tighter.
Right. Check your hawaii.edu email on a regular basis, no matter what, you guys. It's really important. That's the way the messages come to you. Okay, everybody. It's 6 o'clock. We need to be going. I want to thank you all again for being interested in continuing your education to college. It's really super important, and I'm really happy that you're considering and choosing to come to Kapiʻolani Community College. We'll be here waiting for you, ready to learn and learn with you as well.
With masks on.
With masks on, 6 feet apart, washing our hands all together every day, multiple times. I especially like you guys who are sharing screens. I see you guys, Mooch. I see you sharing screens. All right. We'll see you guys August 24th, if not before. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.